Hi, welcome to the Make It Happen podcast brought to you by Strategies for Small Businesses. I'm Christina Littrell-Williams and we're continuing our message marketing series. Through this series, I have covered an introduction to message marketing, what it's all about, what it means collectively. I've gone into detail about email marketing and text message marketing. Today, we're going to focus on social media message marketing. It seems that just about everyone is on a social media platform or several of them at the same time. See, social media started out many years ago with just a couple platforms that were being used. Some were even private and you had to belong to a certain group, we'll say college group, that you could then utilize that platform that's now gone public. Now there is so many social media platforms out there. They give you a wide variety of ways to communicate your message and how to share it. And let's talk about them. It can be confusing which platform is better than the other, which one you should focus on, and which one is the easiest to use. My first piece of advice is don't force it. Don't force yourself to be on social media just because there's a trend out there. Don't pick a platform to focus on if it's not feeling good to you. Though you do need to be on at least one social media platform, it needs to be one that you're comfortable on. Two important questions to ask yourself. Where do I currently socially interact with people, prospects in general, that's not in person? Like a networking group. Where do I communicate with them in a social arena that's not organized as an event? And where are your current clientele currently spending their time in social media? That will give you a lot of information because that will tell you where your like and kind people are actually congregating. So maybe it's worth, if you have a database already, putting something out there, asking a question. What's your favorite social media platform to use today? That will give you valuable feedback in where you need to make sure you'll be, because more people like them will be there. Truth, social media is not going away. These platforms have opened new doors to meeting people and no longer having restrictions to your location. You find people from your past that there was no other way to locate them, but now there is. It's awesome. You can stay connected and be part of lives with your friends and family that you no longer, again, live within a distance where you could visit them regularly. You can see parts of what's going on with them and be happy and take part in it, if you will, virtually. Communities can share dates of current events. We have a local community Facebook group here in this little space that I live in, and in there we share if somebody's going to be doing fireworks late at night, or maybe somebody got sick, is in the hospital, or maybe one of the local battered women's shelters needs some extra help and we're collecting donations as a group. So we share that kind of information through our community group, and we love it. Live events, this is an awesome place to be as well. If you have a live event, you can share the details with your people in like a private group and share it so they can be part of what's going on, even if they're virtually attending. These platforms have brought also a new place for mistruths, cyberbullying, and a huge time suck, and becoming, in a sense, addicted to checking it out. So you want to make sure you're looking and always watching to avoid that. Don't get sucked in to people putting out rhetoric or things that are going to upset you. Stay in your zone. Stay in your positive. Don't allow cyberbullying, and obviously don't do any cyberbullying. Just stay positive as much as you can, and we can be part of the change of what's shared there. If we don't suck into negativity and we end up fighting with people about it, you know what, if they want to be negative, go away. I'm staying in my zone. I don't need to correct them. I'm not going to change their name. So don't let anything become too personal that it upsets you. It's open, free speech, open to public comments. And you know what? Just don't buy into it. Stay yourself. Stay true. When you use social media as part of your marketing plan, you need to use it in a structured way. And you want to be careful of the things that you say, that you don't alienate people. You want to use comments. You want to, again, be true to who you are, because that's going to attract the people that are valuable to you and are a good fit. You want to look to build a community. Now, in saying that, having those private, like I'm going to stick with Facebook right now, a private Facebook group, it's awesome. It's amazing. It's a valuable place to meet and keep your community and have a way to connect with them regularly. But don't fall into the trap of that's the only place you need them to be. You want to make sure that anybody who's in your private Facebook group, you have captured at least their name and their email address. And you need to have that in your database. That's for email marketing. At any point in time, Facebook has the right to shut you down. You may have done nothing wrong, but they can. And I've seen it done to many people. So you want to make sure that you're collecting that information so that you can communicate with them outside of this Facebook group. You don't want to spend all of your time there. So you want to bring them over to have a multiple way of you communicating with them, and you want to get them used to that, even text message marketing. But in reality, don't think that, oh, I've got this great Facebook group, that's all I need. In your message marketing, you want to stay consistent. Again, there's that consistency clause, right? It's very, very important because you want to stay in front of your people at all time. Stay positive. You don't want to end up griping or saying something or even negative about any of your competition that might be out there. You never want to have back-ended marketing where you're putting someone down to raise you up. You're good enough to support what you do. Post content-rich posts. Now this is valuable enough to say one more time. Post content-rich posts. You want to make sure you're staying within that 80-20 rule when posting content. 80% content, 20% sales. You want your message to be heard. You want people attracted to hearing you. And you want to become, in a sense, a Pied Piper of what you do. And most of all, be respectful of others out there. Each social media platform does allow us to connect on a private messaging section where you can message people privately and talk to them where it's not in the public forum. That's great, but you want to make sure you're using this properly. You want to make sure that you aren't bombarding people with private messages that maybe they don't want. You want to use all the methods that you have available to connect and engage with people and even market, but you want to make sure you're doing it with the right people who want to hear from you. Having said that, you will also want to not overdo it. Like I was saying, you don't want to bombard them. There's a thin line here. So be sure you have set your boundaries and know what your plan is going to be so that as you are fulfilling that plan and your team is following you, they're able to follow that same plan as well because you've spelled it out. There's third-party programs out there that can assist you in automating some messages. There are different ways to get your marketing out there, creating a funnel that will be able to continue the message with them where it's automated and you don't have to touch it. Be very careful using third-party messaging programs. There are strict rules set out there by those social media platforms that you have to adhere to so that you're not considered spamming. And I respect that. I personally do not want to open my private message box from a platform that I'm on and have all these offer, and I don't even know these people. So you want to steer clear of that. I know I respect it. I don't want it to happen to me, so I make sure I don't do that. What are some of the rules that we have to adhere to? First and foremost, we have to have permission to message people. Okay, so again, just using Facebook as an example, if you're not friends with them on Facebook, you can't message them. you can message them. It goes into a different request to message you box in Facebook where they can choose to answer you or not. If they don't answer you, they either didn't see it because you're not friends, or they don't want to hear from you. So I would not continue to message them. I would work to build a relationship one way and then bring them into Messenger. If you are friends on Facebook, you can turn around and then private message them as well. Again, make sure you're being consistent in what you're messaging. Limit the number of messages that you send to a receiver in a specific amount of time. This is no different than text message marketing. You don't want to boom, 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 be sending messages. You want to make sure it's just in a nice flow. Be sure your content is in the message is relevant to the receiver. You don't want to be sending a message that's just for people who have children or people that are women living in California when you're sending it out to your whole database and you have people all over the world. That ends up that content going to those other people that are not in that specific outline of who that product or program is for. It's spam. They don't need it. So you have to really be sure that it's relevant to the receivers. And obviously, without being said, no spamming, big rule. There are a couple platforms out there that I've tested and that I like. ManyChat is one. I love them. They were great when they first came out and they had this whole thing going and we built it out and we were using it and tons of people were using it. And then Facebook enforced a 24-hour rule. If there's been no engagement within 24 hours, then you can't message with them. You can't send them automated messages. So it was really to protect their users, which is awesome, and it's great of Facebook to do that, but it hampered ManyChat. So what they did is they, instead of giving up and whatever, they went through and they found ways that they could work with Facebook to get this taken care of, and they do a great job of educating you on the best practices of using automated messages through their program. Great teaching tools. They also show you how to engage people into Messenger utilizing email or text messages so that you can then re-spark that within 24-hour rule and send out an automated message. So that's a great resource. The other resource I have is Hyperis. It's a platform that has tools that work with like LinkedIn, works on your website and other social media platforms. It's really a good tool. They have some great information on their website, great teaching. I haven't used it a ton, but it is a great tool to start with. If automating is not in your near future, because some of you are like, I'm not going to do that, that's okay. You can manage your social media messaging and any marketing you do in there yourself, right? I mean, you just want to make sure that you're not being sucked into taking up too much of your time and that it hampers you from your revenue generating activity that needs to be done on a daily basis. You can manage it yourself, or you can have a team member do it where you've set up the structure of messages, how they're going to go out, how they're going to be worded, and maybe they're reporting back to you what's in there and that they need an answer from you, like maybe at the end of the day on an email. And then you go through and you make your comments and everything, and then you can have them posted on your behalf. Just remember, social media is personal. It's one-on-one. It's supposed to happen between the exchange. They're reaching out to you. They're looking for you to be reaching back. So you don't want to just let a team member run rampant and manage your social media platforms without you being involved. Suggestions for using message marketing through social media. Ask a question. That's the most important part, is asking questions and learning more about the people and the tribe and the community that are attracted to you. Maybe you can find out some information about individuals that have a specific problem or a pain point, and you can talk to them about that pain point. Maybe you have a program that will help them with that pain point. That's the time when then you introduce that to them. but getting involved in creating a conversation and engagement. It's social. Let's be social in there. Maybe you've written something and you posted it on your website. Put up a post, add the link to your content on your website, and drive people to your website. Not only does that increase engagement within the social media platforms, but that also allows your website to gain what I call Google points and be recognized with more and more activity, which pushes you up and up and up on the search engines. One suggestion could be through message marketing is sending out a link to your calendar to schedule an appointment with you. That would be great. Just make sure it is pointed to people who may need to speak to you or may want to speak to you. Don't just do a blanket out to your entire database within your social media platform, because you don't want 100 appointments set up of people that are not going to be a good match with you. So always start out with that engagement, find those people, but sending your calendar link to book appointments with you and they can meet with you one-on-one. Again, you're bringing in that personal side of it. And maybe you have just a simple short message announcing a new free training or offer that you're doing with a link for them to opt in, which then will bring them out, have them engage, get on your database list for email marketing as well. But you can then continue your message marketing because they have interacted with you. So social media, great platform. Great for marketing. You could do ads, you can do your message marketing, you can connect one-on-one, again, with people that you may not have had the opportunity to connect with years ago. Just do it smart and don't let it take over, but at least try to find one. Good luck and happy posting.